Recently, I started rewatching a series called Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and it is just insanely good, and I highly recommend it to anyone who's a fan of science fiction that takes itself seriously. It's set a few hundred years in the future, where humanity has gone out into space and founded an empire, but there's a splinter group that rebelled against it 150 years ago, and the two sides have been at war ever since. It sounds kind of generic, but trust me, it is well worth your time. And this is a series that is big. It's 110 episodes long, and it involves battle scenes with hundreds of ships, and there are a lot of characters to keep track of. And it's all completely worth the work that you put into it. I said in another video that Naoki Urasawa is the Japanese equivalent of James Ellroy, and I think the people behind this series are the Japanese equivalent of David Simon and his writing team, because it is really much like The Wire. There's a very wide range of characters from all walks of life, most of whom you will be invested in, and you'll want to see what happens to them, good or bad. I do have a few warnings about this series. One is that, like I said before, there are a lot of characters, and in fact, someone did actually count them up using I don't want to know how much time, and figured out that there are 660 speaking parts in the series. There are some minor roles among that, but I estimate that there are about 100 characters that have major roles that you will want to keep track of. And in fact, watching it the second time, like I'm doing now, is probably going to be a better experience because you already know a lot of the characters, and so much happens that odds are you'll have forgotten a lot of it. And so you'll be able to get invested in them all over again. The second warning is that the series can be a little slow. With so much going on, you will have a few episodes in a row that are all just build-up, where people keep talking about this big battle that's coming, and you might get a little anxious to actually see that battle. But when they come, they are all worth it. It's hundreds of spaceships all shooting at each other, and very good strategies employed by both sides, and strategies that are easy to keep track of thanks to diagrams that keep being put up. Now, one more thing is, I've said before, I am a huge proponent of the ability of writing to overcome any other flaws a production may have. And this series, perhaps more than any other, really encapsulates that viewpoint. For the most part, the animation is mediocre. It involves little more than people standing around and talking. But the writing is so good that you will quickly get invested in a lot of the characters and a lot of the events, and you'll be agonizing over what happens next. And it seems that the people behind this realized how hard it might be to follow, because they help you out by having every character identified with a caption the first time they appear in just about every episode. So that's always nice to have, and it is actually necessary, so it doesn't feel like you're just being handheld. If you're into a series that's more substance than style, and you feel you can handle it, I definitely recommend Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It's not available in English because, let's face it, not enough people would buy it to make the cost of translating this thing anywhere near worth it. But the entire series is up online on VO with very good English subtitles done entirely by fans, and it's actually quite touching that they were willing to put that much effort into it to get this series a wider audience, as wide as it could actually get. I'll be putting up a link to the first episode in the summary of this video, and I hope a few people do at least do check the series out, because it really needs more attention. and writing this good should be seen.